can't believe I'm going to do this. I can't believe it. And I'm actually, in my heart, excited about this. Today on the show, we're talking the Kia Carnival minivan. So let's get into this right now. If you're new to the channel, my name is David Boyd. I'm an auto journalist, and we like all kinds of fun things, whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or these minivans. I like it all, man. And the minivan market has really stepped it up here lately. The past few years, I think they realized like sales have been way down, all the late 90s, early 2000s. Just people were moving away to it. They wanted more of an SUV. And I think that's where Kia and some of these other companies have said, hey, there's money to be made here. We can give people a good bargain, give them a lot of features, something that the kids in the back can be happy with. Or if it's, you're wanting to take your friends out on, we're going to Florida for the beach for the week. I think this is the perfect vehicle for you. So let's pull this thing up here, this minivan. We're on Kia's website. So we will click here, and we're going to go to the Carnival, the MPV. Now, notice they don't really call it really a minivan anymore. I mean, it's an MPV. We know what that stands for, but they're not like wanting to scream that. But that right there, that is a nice looking vehicle. And if you think to yourself, remember the stub nose minivans of the old days? I'm nearly 50 years old. Minivans were not cool. I remember when Chrysler came out with the minivan, and people were like, they were buying and selling them like hotcakes and saved that company, but they just did not look cool. This actually looks like a upper class suburban kind of SUV. Now it's not, it's definitely a minivan, and we'll get into some of the features of that. But I think this thing is the day for being boring is gone. So let's build our dream minivan here. And me and Kelly actually got to see this minivan in person. We did it a walk around the Chicago Auto Show. I will put a link above if you're curious to see our impressions, our first impressions of this thing. And it got me excited. Kelly told me, she's like, Dave, you're going to love this minivan. And Kelly tracks some of this stuff more than I do. And I said, hey, it's a minivan. And she's like, just get your ass over here. So we went over there and looked at this thing, and I kind of fell in love. Oh, I feel dirty saying that, but this thing is pretty nice. And so let's get into this thing. We've got the LX for $33,100. You've got the LX seat package for $35,100. You've got the EX, which is $38,600. You've got the SX, which is going to start you about $41,800, and then the SX Prestige, which is $46,200. Now, that's a pretty wide range, right? And you're thinking, well, it's a minivan. But if I'm doing a minivan, my dream version of a minivan, I'm going all the way. That's right. I want the most features for me heading to the beach, whatever we're doing. We're going cross country. I'm going to the mall. I don't care. I want all the features that I can have. So I'm going to stick with this SX Prestige. Now, we got a bunch of colors here. And some of them you see, Kia does a really nice job of putting these little X's by there if it's not a part of that package. I love the fact that they don't tease you with it, like, oh, you can get it. No, they put a little X there, which is nice. So currently we are on a Panthera Metal, which is kind of cool. Well, next up, we have a ceramic silver for $495 more. Now, we can't get the silky silver, but we can look at this snow white pearl, which is pretty freaking cool, man. If you were a stormtrooper, if you're into Star Wars, that might be the version for you, man. Look at those wheels. I mean, it does scream, hey, let's get those good guys there. But next up, we got Aurora Black Pearl, which is $495. Deep Chroma Blue, which we cannot get. We've got the what do they call this color here? Flare Red, which is that's a pretty conservative color on that. Something that I think like mom and mom, dad and dad, whoever. If they pick that, they may be like, we don't want to be look outside. We don't want to be crazy. We just want something very in line with the rest of the country. And Astra Blue, which we saw this color in person at the Chicago Auto Show with the video that we'll link above. We did the walk around, and it's a really nice color. But I think Kelly and I, if we were to do this, Kelly, if we bought a minivan, we're going to want this thing murdered out, right? That's right. Heck yes. And so I'm going with the Aurora Black Pearl. This thing, I mean, just imagine if pimp my ride just a little bit, drop this thing down. Let's lower this about an inch, make those wheel wells tuck. Let's get that radio system really kicking in this thing. Let's black it out completely. And let's take the kids to school and just turn heads, man, because I think that's what you would definitely do in this thing. So next up, we're going to look at, we'll pan around this real quick. Look at that. From that front position, you would not know that's a minivan. You would think that's an SUV all day long. Walk around. Those wheels actually look really cool. I like this, the way they've done this platinum finish out here, and we'll talk about that when we get to the interior because they took this and it's in the interior as well, and it's a really nice job. The back of it, I love this light bar that they've done. The Kia logo, which I like, it's growing on me, but it's still slightly confusing. And I like that they kept the badging simple. Look, Carnival there, nothing else. They didn't need to put Carnival all over this thing. You know, people already know you're in a wicked not SUV. Look at me, I'm confused, but they know you're in a wicked minivan, so that's pretty cool. So now let's go to the interior of this thing as it loads up here. And this would be the view that mom, dad, the children's grandma, grandpa, whoever, this is what they're going to see. And look at the interior of this thing. Now, this is their what do they call this? This is the off black leather seating trim. And I will say in persons, when you sit in these things, they sit very comfortable. Very comfortable. Nice bolstering there on a long trip, man. So your back doesn't get tired. You sit very comfortable. It definitely sits like a minivan, though. So you are more up. Your legs do, if you're got cruise control on, you do sit up and down, which is nice. It's kind of like being in a nice chair. So that's pretty nice. Oh, look, cup holders everywhere in this thing. 4 cup holders there. These little slots are to hold your cell phone. And you got the dead pedal over there. And of course, this thing is going to be an automatic transmission. But look at this, Mr. Sulu. Beam me aboard, because this thing is the future, and I love this screen, man. It's all digital. I like the fact that they didn't, they could have put an old analog tech there and kind of merged old tech with new tech. I like the fact they just said, screw it, let's just go digital. And as you can see there, these are really nice looking, very sporty looking too. Of course, you got everything you're going to want there. There's your fuel economy, or your how much mileage you have left. There's the outside temperature. Look, you're doing 60 miles an hour, but we're not doing it over here. And I'm assuming that's probably for your cruise control. But the steering wheel is nice in this thing. Everything you're going to want is right at the fingertips. Everything you need to touch is right there. But I like the fact this big monitor in this thing. Now, it's probably 2 separate monitors, but I like the fact that they it's just big and it fits. It doesn't feel like the old Tesla style where there's just this big screen up here and nothing else out here. I like it. It's kind of traditional, but the future traditional. So now we look at the interior of this thing here. Look at all the controls on this thing. Now, these are actual buttons for hot and cold, which I like. Now, the fan speed is definitely touch, which is I would ding it for just a little bit. But I like the fact that they give you a lot of buttons. And I think for safety wise, it's good to have, especially heat. The kids are always hot or cold. So the ability to do that at your fingertips is very nice, because if you're in a minivan, you're probably already in a stressful situation. If you're on a trip, kids get bored easy, whatever, grandma and grandpa are fighting with each other in the back. They can't reach where we're about to show you where the HVAC controls are in the back. And mom and dad has a lot of control for that. But as you can see here, you're getting USBs. It looks like you're going to get some C's and looks like both C's. I can't remember in that. But this is where the iPhone goes. I will say my 13 or 14, whatever this is, in this case would not fit in there for the charging. So just be aware of that. Some people, a lot of people don't. I use a heavy duty case because I'm clumsy and I'm going to drop the thing. So just be aware of that, definitely check that if you're actually out there looking and shopping for this thing. Check those features, because sometimes I think those are features you just sort of forget about till you sign on the dotted line. And then you get home and you're like, damn, my phone doesn't fit. So, and phones keep getting bigger and bigger. Now, so we can see right here, you're getting a lot of controls. There is your heated steering wheel. There's your park button. We got, these are controls for your heated seats and cooled seats, if you look at that. And Kelly's big on cooled seats. She really wants our next vehicle to have some cool seats. So I'm looking at you, Ford Ranger. You better have them. But as we look through here, I like this diamond plating kind of deal that they have there. Kelly wasn't as fond of that when she saw it. And I think when she saw it with the outside, it kind of made more sense to her. But it was one of those things that she just wasn't about. Now, we kind of wrap around here. You got your traditional controls there, your locks, your windows. I do believe this has a Bose sound system. So this thing's going to sound great when you're listening to some Pantera. And the kids are like, hey, could you put on some country? Some Florida Georgia Line, and you're like, no, we listen to Pantera in this minivan. But as we look back here, look at where the HVAC controls are for the back of it. This was sort of a head scratcher to me. Kelly pointed this out in our walk around video that I don't know if they put it up there out of the way so kids can't reach it. Where kind of in a traditional spot, it's definitely in the controls here in the back. I don't know if that was a thought process or it was just like, hey, we're running out of room. We put so many cool features in this thing. We're running out of room. But you do get a dual in this upgraded version, the prestige version. You're going to get a dual sunroof, which is very nice. Mom and dad has theirs. The kids have their own back there. And speaking of things kids have their own, they have sunshades back here that are built in. All the rows have those, which is very nice. You know, Molly, she's hot. The sun's in her face. Timmy wants to look outside. However it works, but those are nice features, and especially for the price we started at 48,600, you're getting a lot of features in this thing. Now, this definitely is a lot of rows to this thing. You can see the little seat there. I believe it all these tilt up. Definitely a lot of cargo room in the back of this thing as well, which was very nice. And which it's hard to see in here. There's a mommy cam or daddy cam, whoever cam that is watching. You can flip it on your monitor on your screen out here, and you can see what's going on in the back room. So you can keep it's nice. You can keep your mirror pointed at the back of the road and you don't have it tilt down, and it's great for less distractions. If you got it in the monitor over there, you can kind of glance there and keep going. If you need to look somebody riding your butt, you can still see everything. So I think that was pretty nice there. Now let's continue our look around here. Nice shifter in this thing, and it's gloss black. How long that stays glossy, I don't know, because if your legs are rubbing against this or you just drop things, you might nick it up a little bit. That might be something to think about. But this color, I don't know about this color. Let's look at the other option we have, which is a Tuscan Umber. So as that loads up, oh, look at that. That brightens everything up. That's pretty cool. Now, something we did notice in this thing was at the Chicago Auto Show, and I don't know if it was a pre-production version or what they had in there. Of course, we're in a building and poor lighting in this thing. It looked like the seats were just a slightly lighter version than maybe a pinkish hue, which once again could be the lights we were looking at or was shining in on this thing, but it was slightly different color than this. So be aware of that. Maybe check that out. But you're getting USBs in the back, the seats as well. And I believe the version we had them in both. I could be wrong. But overall, look at that. The third row back there looks really cool. And Kelly, she wants a third row vehicle very bad. And we have one kid that would ever ride with us. I don't know why we need another third row. Clearly, she wants to pick up kids from school. So maybe that's the reason. But overall, I like this color a lot. And I think this, for me personally, I think this is maybe a winner for me. Now, all the headliner and stuff is a very light color. So be aware, kids with sticky fingers, they got their nuggies. You know how kids do. They dip their hands in them little nuggy things. And if they're touching stuff everywhere, suddenly there's barbecue sauce everywhere. So those are things to think about with this. But overall, I think the interior of this thing is a 1 to 10. I'm going to give this thing a 9.5. I really do like the layout of this thing. I think it's definitely minivan, but you really feel like you're stepped up. You're in this is the minivan, the Enterprise. If you're a Star Trek fan, this is the minivan they would have floating out of their back of their vehicle to go to Earth or wherever they're at. I think this thing is very just enough futuristic looking, but yet still a lot of cool features. So let's see what else we got with this thing. So our standard features with this, we're going to get a 3.5 liter V6 engine, making a whopping 290 horsepower. I remember when minivans first came out, it might have been 95 horsepower. You'd go to get on the interstate, you floor the thing, and you were still scared that little 18-wheeler was going to run you over. So this thing is definitely going to be at the drag strip. I know Kelly, if she had it, she's taking it right to the drag strip. We'll put slicks on the front of this thing, and we'll go whip all the Camaros and Vets around. But you're going to get that dual sunroof in this thing, 19-inch alloy black gloss wheels, which I pointed out earlier. I think they look greater in the outside of this thing. Looks really good. LED projection headlights and fog lights, which is nice because sometimes companies only give you the headlights and the fog lights are the old school tech. What LED lights, man, once you have those, it means a lot. You're going to get that 115 watt power outlet in the back, the inverter in the back, which if you got kids, man, they're wanting to play video games and all kinds of stuff back here, which I think, let's give them the power. We're on a trip. Mom and dad's on a trip. Mom and mom's on the trip, man. They just need a little peace and quiet as we're going to the Grand Canyon from Maine. So they want a little bit of peace and quiet. Second and third row integrated window sunshades, which once again, there you can see them here. So definitely, especially in the third row, if you've got kids back there that are maybe a little hot, we all know how the sun works. Sometimes it's on my side of the glass, and AC's just mom and dad don't want the AC in there full blast for them. So I think that's a very nice way of doing it. So let's look at more features here. Now you're going to get the auto emergency braking technology with junction turning detection, blind spot detection, which is a plus. If you've got a minivan, you want all these safety features because Kids are in and out of it. You don't want to, nobody wants any accidents. So I think all these lane keeping, that's going to be nice when you're on the road. The front and rear parking sensors, which is nice. The rear parking collision avoidance assistance, which we've had people. We have a sidewalk right through our driveway. I've had in a vehicle that has this feature. I've been backing out. All of a sudden, you get those alerts, beep 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 beep, and you felt the vehicle stop. So save me and my insurance company a lot of money. So I definitely appreciate that. The driver attention warning and high beams assist. High beam assist is once you have that, don't realize you're not turning the highs and lows off all the time. You will never be the same. I love that feature. Now, packages and upgrades. So the Prestige seat package, which 7 passenger seat configuration. Second row VIP lounge seats and the comfort headrest and leg extension, which the leg extensions I believe we had in the one we had, which was very nice. Let's see what other features we got here. Rear seat entertainment package. So dual screen entertainment system in the back of this, and they're on the headrest back here, and they were a nice size monitor. So, the kids in back, whoever, grandma and grandpa want to watch, who knows what they're watching? Back to the Future. I don't know what they watch. Gone with the Wind, maybe. I don't know. But they can be entertained, and you can be Ubering them anywhere you want to go. And so other options. Let's see what else we got. So mats, stuff like that. Stuff I'm probably not going to buy right now. But let's finish this puppy up. So, and do not pay attention to this right here. For one, credit scores, everything matter about this. This is always misleading, but this is for a lease. So we're not leasing this thing. We're going to buy this thing. Now, $48,000, $48,060 where we started out. The trim itself was $46,200. We added $495 to that black pearl because we're going to murder this thing out. The seats were no upcharge at all, which is very nice. Destination is $1,365 for a whopping $48,060, and I think that is a nice price in the world of expensive. The big Suburbans and everything now are $75,000, $85,000, $95,000, which do the same job as this. I think this is just as comfortable as those. You're definitely getting kind of that SUV look to this thing, which is very nice. It doesn't, it's not your mom and dad's minivan anymore. These things are actually nice, and I would not be ashamed to ride in this thing at all. And world of some silly cars, I think this thing is pretty kick-ass. But $48,000, where are you at with this? Do you think that's a pretty good bargain? I mean, my Ford Bronco that I have in the driveway was $55,000 MSRP, and I think this thing has so many more features than that. Clearly, they're different, playing in different playgrounds, but I think what you're getting a lot of value with this. You're getting, things are expensive. Diapers are expensive. Kids are expensive in general. You've always got ball gear you got to buy. You got soccer balls you got to buy. And if Kia can save us a little bit of money and you're getting all this luxury with a minivan, I think that's a hit. So in the comments below, let me know what you think about this. So whether it be two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, because that's what this minivan is, all-wheel drive, I don't know. All I know is I want to drive this thing. I kind of got a little crush on this. God, I can't believe I said that. This is your All Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, and we're out. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.